In the thrilling, fast-paced world of Mobile Legends, mastering the top-tier heroes is your key to crushing the competition and securing victory. Whether you're pushing through the ranks solo or wiping out the enemy team with your squad, picking the right hero can make all the difference. These are the top-tier heroes with the highest win rates that you need to dominate your next match. Get ready to take the battlefield by storm. Tier 5. Gadget, Hanabi, and Layla. Gadget is a durable tank/fighter hybrid in Mobile Legends who excels in crowd control and initiating team fights, making him an invaluable asset in both offensive and defensive scenarios. His passive, Steel Bones, allows him to convert the damage he takes into health regeneration, making him incredibly resilient during prolonged fights. This unique trait makes him a formidable frontline hero, as he can absorb immense amounts of damage while staying on the battlefield longer than most tanks. His true strength lies in his ultimate, Avatar of the Guardian, where he leaps into a target area from a distance, stunning and knocking up enemies. This skill makes him one of the most effective initiators in the game, capable of disrupting entire teams and setting up kills for his allies. His high durability and crowd control abilities make him a cornerstone in team compositions focused on hard engages and peeling for damage dealers. However, Gadget's effectiveness relies heavily on good positioning and precise timing. While Avatar of the Guardian is a powerful initiation tool, its wind-up time gives enemies a chance to scatter, dodge, or prepare for the engage. If mistimed or poorly aimed, his ultimate can be wasted, leaving him out of position and vulnerable. Hanabi is a marksman in Mobile Legends with impressive AoE damage and sustain, making her a powerful threat in team fights. Her passive, Ninjutsu, Petal Barrage, allows her basic attacks to bounce between enemies, enabling her to deal consistent damage to multiple targets, especially in clustered fights. This makes her a fantastic late-game hero, as her damage scales tremendously as she builds attack speed and critical damage. Hanabi's second skill, Ninjutsu, Soul Scroll, not only deals damage, but also provides a significant lifesteal boost, giving her excellent sustain in both landing and team fight phases. Her ultimate, Higanbana, is a crowd control ability that roots enemies hit and can spread the root effect to others if they stay too close, making it a game-changer in large-scale engagements by preventing the enemy team from repositioning or escaping. However, Hanabi's lack of mobility is her biggest weakness. Without a reliable escape mechanism, she is highly vulnerable to assassins and heroes with strong gap closers, making her an easy target if not well-positioned. Additionally, Hanabi's reliance on farming means she is relatively weak in the early game, and she needs ample time and gold to reach her late-game potential. Her Petal Barrage also requires careful positioning. If she cannot maximize her passive's bounce effect by hitting multiple enemies, her damage output can feel underwhelming. While she offers strong sustain and AoE damage, Hanabi struggles against burst damage heroes who can catch her off guard, making her highly dependent on good team protection and positioning. Layla is a classic marksman in Mobile Legends, known for her long-range attacks and high burst damage, particularly in the late game. Her passive, Malefic Gun, increases her attack range as she levels up, allowing her to hit enemies from an exceptionally safe distance. This makes Layla a deadly backline damage dealer, especially when properly farmed. Her first skill, Malefic Bomb, boosts her basic attacks by dealing extra damage, helping her poke enemies and clear minion waves efficiently. Her ultimate, Destruction Rush, is a long-range energy blast that deals significant damage to multiple enemies in a straight line, making it a great tool for finishing off low-health targets or dealing heavy damage in team fights from a distance. Despite her impressive range and damage potential, Layla's biggest flaw is her lack of mobility, making her highly vulnerable to assassins and gap-closing heroes who can easily dive and burst her down. Overall, while Layla can be a powerhouse in the late game, she requires strong team coordination and map awareness to avoid being eliminated by aggressive enemies. Tier 4. Vexana, Nana, and Mia. Vexana is a mage hero in Mobile Legends, known for her powerful crowd control and high burst damage. Vexana's abilities deal significant burst damage, making her a major threat to squishier enemies. This makes her a valuable asset when it comes to turning the tide of a battle during late-game engagements. Her main strength lies in her Nether Snare, which deals significant AoE damage, making her effective at zoning and poking enemies in team fights. Her ultimate, Eternal Guard, summons a massive undead knight to deal continuous damage and disrupt enemies. However, Vexana's weaknesses include her lack of mobility, which makes her an easy target for assassins and heroes with high burst damage. Nana is a versatile support/mage hero in Mobile Legends, known for her excellent crowd control, utility, and ability to disrupt enemies. One of her standout abilities is her passive, Molina's Gift, which makes her nearly unkillable in dangerous situations. Instead of dying, Nana transforms into a Molina, becoming immune to all damage and gaining movement speed for a short time, giving her incredible survivability compared to other mages. This passive makes her highly forgiving to play, as it allows her to escape lethal situations. Nana's first skill, Magic Boomerang, is a ranged skill that deals damage and slows enemies, giving her strong poke and zoning potential in both the landing phase and team fights. Her second skill, Molina Smooch, transforms an enemy into a harmless Molina, slowing and disabling them for a short time, which is fantastic for catching out priority targets or disrupting dives from assassins and fighters. Nana's ultimate, Molina Blitz, is an AoE ability that deals damage in a wide area and stuns enemies, making her a great initiator in team fights or a disruptor in skirmishes. While her crowd control and utility are strong, her skill shots require accurate aiming and timing, and missing them can significantly reduce her impact in fights. Although her passive can help her escape death once, she is still vulnerable to being burst down or heavily focused if caught without her escape options. Mia is a marksman in Mobile Legends known for her rapid attack speed and high sustained damage, especially in the late game. Her passive, Moon Blessing, increases her attack speed with each basic attack, allowing her to shred through enemies and objectives quickly. Her ultimate, Hidden Moonlight, makes her invisible for a short period, cleanses debuffs, and boosts her movement speed, giving her a strong escape mechanism and repositioning ability in fights. Mia excels in dealing massive damage to multiple targets with her rain of arrows and AoE-enhanced basic attacks, making her a formidable threat in team fights when well farmed. However, Mia has significant drawbacks, primarily her early game vulnerability. She is highly reliant on farming to reach her late game potential and is relatively weak during the landing phase. Mia is also squishy, meaning she can be easily burst down by assassins or crowd-controlled if caught out of position. Without her ultimate available, she lacks mobility, making her highly dependent on proper positioning and team protection to stay alive and deal damage effectively. Tier 3. Zaask and Chang'e. Chang'e is a mage in Mobile Legends known for her long range, high burst damage, and excellent zoning abilities. Her ultimate, Meteor Shower, unleashes a barrage of meteors over a wide area, dealing continuous damage, making her a strong force in team fights and sieging objectives. Chang'e's Crescent Moon passive enhances her damage and range, allowing her to poke enemies safely from a distance while staying out of harm's way. She also has strong wave clear abilities, helping her control the map and push lanes efficiently. However, Chang'e has notable weaknesses. She is extremely squishy and lacks a reliable escape mechanism, making her vulnerable to assassins and burst damage. If caught out of position, she can be easily eliminated. Additionally, while Meteor Shower deals high damage, it requires precise aiming, and missing it can significantly reduce her impact in fights. Chang'e also relies heavily on proper positioning, as her damage output and survivability depend on staying at a safe distance while casting her abilities. Zaask is a unique mage in Mobile Legends, known for his ability to summon his Nightmaric Spawn, which acts as a powerful turret that deals continuous damage to enemies. His skill, Nightmaric Spawn, allows him to zone enemies, control the battlefield, and dominate lanes by providing consistent poke and pressure. Zaask's ultimate, Dominator's Descent powers up both him and his spawn, amplifying their damage and durability, making him an overwhelming force during team fights and sieging objectives. His strong lane presence and ability to poke from a distance make him a difficult hero to deal with in the early to mid-game. However, Zaask has several weaknesses. He is immobile and fragile, making him highly vulnerable to burst damage and gap-closing assassins. His reliance on Nightmaric spawn means if it is destroyed or poorly positioned, his effectiveness in fights is drastically reduced. Additionally, Zaask's abilities require good positioning and timing, as getting caught out of position without his spawn can leave him defenseless. Overall, while Zaask excels at zone control and sustained damage, his lack of mobility and fragility make him susceptible to high-damage threats. Tier 2. Leslie. Leslie is a marksman and assassin hybrid in Mobile Legends, known for her exceptional long-range attacks, stealth, and ability to deal massive burst damage. Her passive, Lethal Shot, increases her critical damage after every basic attack, making her incredibly dangerous when it comes to dealing high single-target damage. Leslie's Master of Camouflage skill allows her to become invisible, increasing her movement speed and enhancing her next attack, making it easier for her to reposition, escape ganks, or surprise enemies with deadly bursts. Her ultimate, Ultimate Snipe, locks onto an enemy and fires up to 4 shots, dealing significant damage from a safe distance, making it an excellent tool for finishing off low-health targets or sniping enemies trying to flee. Leslie excels at poking and safely dealing damage from afar, making her a great choice for players who prefer long-range, high-damage output, while staying relatively safe in the backline. Her stealth ability also provides solid utility for scouting or escaping bad situations, while her critical burst damage makes her a serious threat to enemy mages or other marksmen. Leslie is vulnerable to crowd control and burst damage if caught out. Additionally, Leslie's Ultimate Snipe can be interrupted by crowd control, reducing her overall effectiveness in team fights. She also lacks strong AoE damage, meaning she performs best in single-target scenarios, but can struggle when facing multiple opponents in close combat. Overall, Leslie is a powerful marksman with high burst potential and great utility, but requires careful positioning and timing to maximize her impact. Now we are about to announce the champion of all heroes. Alpha. Alpha is a fighter hero in Mobile Legends, known for his sustained damage, crowd control, and durability. His passive, Beta, Advance, allows him to summon his drone, Beta, which deals additional damage to enemies after his abilities hit, enhancing his overall damage output in both single-target and AoE scenarios. Alpha's first skill, Rotary Impact, provides a long-range poke that slows enemies and triggers Beta's attacks, making it great for harassing enemies in lane and setting up engages. His second skill, Force Swing, deals damage in a wide area and heals Alpha based on the number of enemies hit, giving him excellent sustain in both team fights and during landing phases. Alpha's ultimate, Spear of Alpha, is a powerful crowd control tool that stuns enemies, allowing him to dive into the backline and disable key targets, while also amplifying his damage output with Beta. Alpha excels in extended team fights due to his sustain and ability to deal consistent damage over time. His crowd control and healing make him a durable fighter who can engage enemies and survive longer in battle compared to other heroes. His kit allows him to be aggressive in both solo lanes and team fights, making him a strong pick for players who prefer to initiate and sustain damage while absorbing hits for their team. Alpha also scales well into the late game, becoming a bigger threat as he builds more items. However, Alpha has several weaknesses. He is reliant on hitting his abilities to trigger Beta's additional damage, meaning missing skill shots can greatly reduce his effectiveness in fights. Alpha struggles against heroes with high burst potential, as they can quickly bring him down before he has a chance to heal. Additionally, Alpha's reliance on cooldowns means he is less effective if his abilities are on cooldown during key moments in battle. Overall, Alpha is a durable fighter with strong sustain and consistent damage, but requires precise skill usage and good positioning to maximize his impact in fights. If you're looking to dominate the battlefield and stay ahead of the competition in Mobile Legends, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You'll get the latest tips, hero guides, and strategies that will help you climb the ranks and crush your opponents. Don't miss out on epic gameplay and pro-level insights. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications to stay updated on all things Mobile Legends.